Hello, everyone. This is Deaf Mute Studio. You're watching the Memo by Deaf podcast. I am joined by Garrath Gibson. Garrath, hello.
Hello. Controversial guest, apparently, so as well now.
Oh, yeah, your card's been marked now by Ben.
Yeah, I know someone who's not going to be watching, Mr. Ben Taylor. He's only saying what everyone else is thinking, so can't be too mad at that.
I mean, the way I see it, it was delivered as a criticism, constructive criticism, but really it was just a massive compliment.
Yeah, I've never been dissed and complimented in the same sentence, same sentence so quickly. It was yeah.
The man's
like,
a genius.
Anyway, thanks for having me again.
Always welcome, despite Ben's ravaging compliments. So, Gib, in this episode, mate, we The Hitcher, the film from 1986, has recently turned 37 years old. 37. Jesus,
not quite
Christ.
As old as me, but nearly.
It's insane. So, in this episode, we need to talk about The Hitcher.
We do. It's absolute classic.
It is. We did touch on it during the 31 Days of Horror last year during Halloween.
Was that one of your picks?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. We didn't go too in depth with it though, did we?
No, not as in depth as we are about to go.
Yeah, I did feel like it. I'm sure I remember at the time I was like, yeah, we need to kind of go quite in depth for that film because, yeah, it's. I mean, I wouldn't say it was like underrated because it's got a big following, but I feel like it probably doesn't get talked about enough as it should.
Yeah, I mean, every time you see like someone's list of top 10 horrors or top 20 horrors and whatnot, it's never there. It's got a devoted fan base to it, but it's not so much in the mainstream.
Yeah, it's a strange one, but I think like everyone who's more times than none that's seen it loves it, really loves it, thinks it's probably like a 5-star film. I don't really I can't remember if I've really ever come across anyone who's thought like it was all right.
Yeah,
I've just not seen it, or they've really enthusiastic about it. But I was gonna I know you're the host. I'm coming with you with a question, but
fire away.
Do you think what genre would you put this film under? Would you put it as a psychological thriller or a horror or?
It's got. I wouldn't say it was a flat out horror.
No,
it has horror elements. I'd say thriller.
Yeah, I would say a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
It's got like a very horror kind of. It treads the line. It's like a horror, but you don't see the body. You don't see the kills. Like a lot of them, anyway.
Yeah.
Like it could have been. Like I think under a lesser, writer director, like it could have just been like a really trashy slasher movie.
Yeah.
That would have just probably not been as fondly looked at, and it's. You sort of see the aftermath, don't you, of the bloodbath, but I think that works as a film though as well. Like it's not criticism of it at all.
No, I completely agree. It's it leaves a lot for interpretation.
Yeah. I think that's it. Say with the violence and with the motivations of the character as well, or characters. But yeah, I think that kind of adds to the that adds to it, to be honest.
Yeah, I like the fact that there's a lot to think on about the film. I mean, I heard actually I was reading the Hitcher book released by Arrow.
Yeah,
this one here. Before I get onto it though, if you see this and you think, oh, I want to read that, do not buy it from Zavvi because they charge 15 quid for a book that thick.
Oh, I was expecting something like that, to be honest.
It's a real tiny book and they're charging 15 quid. So
Did they send it in a fucking jiffy bag as well, like they usually do with most of the stuff?
in an old Netto bag.
Yeah, I don't deal with Zavi to be honest.
No, that yeah. But if you are interested in
Yeah,
buying it, go straight to Arrow because they're charging £5.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, yeah, it's a nice cover as well.
It is, although really, I think £5 too much for that. Like £5 just for that.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I feel like it'd be like if they would have ever released a box set, like you'd probably just get that book with the box.
yeah,
Maybe just a
that,
tad smaller.
yeah, that'd be really cool. I'd love that. But I've not finished it because I've been busy with other stuff. But what I did read in it, it's really interesting, and it really goes deep into the like the thought of it and the theories of the Hitcher. And one theory in the book that I thought was really interesting is I can't remember who they credited in it. It's someone else's. I think someone else wrote a book on it.
Yeah.
But it's there's a Tyler Durden theory for the
All right.
Hitcher
Okay.
where Ryder, played by Rutger Hauer, is actually Jim Halsey or an alter ego of it. On
Yeah.
the now physically, yeah, you can bat that away and go, well, no, because A, B, and C happened in the film. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, I think it's more the pin it as Ryder is a metaphor for Jim Halsey's animal side.
Right. Okay.
There's like the side because Jim Halsey, he's a innocent young a good person, but Ryder represents his dark side.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I don't buy it to be honest, but
No,
it's
it's
interesting.
flawed. It's definitely a
Yeah.
flawed take,
Yeah,
but still,
but it is a lot of it is very open to interpretation, and as I say, it's you know a lot of fans have had their own theories about it for a while, and I think that's always just a sign of a good film and a good writer, to be honest. Yeah, I don't buy it. I think it's me personally, what I love about the film is just kind of how simple and contained it is.
mm,
It's just a nutter chasing a young lad, and you know. Uh, yeah, that's kind of what I like about it though as well.
I mean,
But it is interesting though. I do like hearing that sort of stuff as well. It's like The Shining, isn't it? Like I don't buy
yes,
a lot of those theories, but I do get a kick out of like hearing about them because some of them are quite creative as well. Like they're
yeah,
not without merit. Do you know what I mean? And same with that one. Like I do get it, and you know, there's other theories as well as like as I say that he is like a supernatural being and stuff like
yes,
that as
yeah.
well, and things like that. But no, I just like the gritty, realistic side of it. To be honest,
Yeah, it's a film that I take at face value. I think it's good enough to take at face value, but like
mhm.
yourself, it's good that it can inspire these thoughts of
Yeah,
different meanings towards it.
yeah,
It gives a lot for the audience to play with.
yeah, definitely. But as I say, I personally just love the simple side of it. But I do, you know, still, which is it is you know, very up to interpretation, is, you know, his motivation, you know, and things like that, and stuff. And because it's not, it's like he doesn't, you know, it doesn't just, you know, just he's just not just like very vocal about what he's doing and stuff. So you know, you are thinking like, why is he doing it to him, you know, and things like that and stuff. So that's sort of stuff that I do like, you know, kind of coming up with my own theories and stuff about. But like so his actual motivations, yeah, how do you feel like the film goes with his character?
I think I mentioned it in the 31 Days of Horror video. My theory towards motivations is that he's suicidal,
Yeah.
but there's no way in hell he'd ever take his own life. So he's
Hmm.
looking for someone who has the courage, grit, depth in them
Yeah.
to actually be able to take him down.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think he sees that in because Jim Halsey shoves him out. It's the whole bit is like, do you want to die? Like I think he's got a knife to his bollocks, hasn't he, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, say it. I say I want to die. When I think that's Ryder saying that to himself.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, him saying like, "I want you to stop me." It's yeah. I don't disagree with that theory at all. And or as well, I mean, he could have just been in there to kill him, and then when he actually kicks him out the car and sort of fights back, I feel like he's like, oh, got a bit of game on here. Like, he's
it is very much Wayne's World game
might
on.
have met my
game on. Game on.
Yeah, it's game on here. So I'm gonna pursue this now. And he just, as I say, he's just such a menacing character. He's just like, he's got a bit of like the Terminator sort of with him as well, but then got a bit of like, something like the Joker as well. Like he's just.
I was gonna say, I think the Joker in The Dark Knight, has a lot to thank this film for.
Yeah,
they're both really agents of chaos in this.
Yeah. No, definitely, as I say, like that side of him, but then the pursuit side of him is it definitely did remind me of Arnie in Terminator. Just
this weapon will be called the Terminator.
You're dead, honey.
I mean, you do have to suspend your disbelief a little bit with some of like him just constantly just following him, and how did he get there so quick and
popping up out of nowhere, shooting down a police helicopter.
That's probably, I mean, if you want to nitpick the film, that's probably something that maybe, you do. It's maybe not as realistic. He just keeps going after him, even like after all, he seems like he's been driving for hours and suddenly he pops up again. But yeah, so you can't fault him on his persistence.
I've got to respect it.
You've got to respect it.
I would have gave up after killing the family.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I always, something as well that I always found so like menacing about him though as well. Like you never really like, it doesn't ever really seem like he gets like so angry either. That's what I found really chilling about him. Like he doesn't really raise his voice. Doesn't really look like he's getting like angry. He just. Like, it doesn't even really look like he's enjoying it, which I'm sure he is. But it's just, he's not like he's not like relishing in it. He's just, like you say, he's probably maybe looking to kill it. He wants to die, and he's just, he's thought, right, I've met my match here, someone who might want to actually fight back. I think. Yeah. So.
I agree, mate. It's his calm demeanor.
Yeah, really... but that's what's so chilling though. Like, the scene in the cafe when he's asking him, why are you doing this to me? And he just grabs him by the head and just says, you'll figure it out. And then just goes. And then it's just like, what? Like, even as a kid, it really got under my skin. But in a good way that like, it really stuck with me. And always has. It still does. Even still watching it, I know I've seen it many a times, but like there's just certain little things sometimes that you pick up that he does or says or how he looks, and it's just like, yeah.
I think I said this in the 31 Days of Horror. It is my favorite Rutger Hauer performance.
Yeah,
and it's mad to think that he wasn't even the first choice for the role.
No,
it was. What's his name?
Was it Terence Stamp? Terence Stamp was he was for the role at one point, and then there was, I think there was quite a few.
There was Terence Stamp and one actor who was actually cast as Ryder but had to pull out due to scheduling conflicts. Bear with me now, Sam Elliott.
Oh, okay.
And apparently the producer said Sam Elliott was so good in his audition that the producer was scared to go to his car afterwards.
Yeah, I fucking love Sam Elliott. Like I would have Yeah, I feel like he would have done a great job. I feel like Terence Stamp would have probably done quite a good job as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been interesting seeing Sam Elliott in that sort of role.
Yeah, all I can picture is Ryder with a very impressive mustache.
Yeah, he would have had to have the mustache. But yeah, that would have been interesting as well. I always found that so fascinating when you hear about like because it would have really probably affected the film as well, you know, in a different way, whether good or bad. But it would have just been a totally different film. But yeah, Rutger Hauer's performance is it's just fucking bone chilling.
Oh yeah, he absolutely nails it. He does steal the show because yeah, it is the film's called The Hitcher. It's about the Hitcher, so of course he's gonna have a good chance to steal it. But it's just like you were saying before, just his calm demeanor and.
But those are, for me, I find like other like serial killers in films or any sort of like killers that I'd say that are just calm and they don't like lose the cool, because then that makes it just feels like they're either relishing in it even more or it's just yeah.
It kind of makes them seem or like performances like that they're not actually human.
Yeah. But it makes you think as well, like they don't think of the people as human either. Like it's just they like it, you're not even worth me getting worked up about.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna kill you, and that just there's just like no empathy for human life, and it's just like yeah, it's very chilling.
Yeah, it's
like you're not doing it out of rage, you're not doing it out of like impulse, you're doing it just out of like you're doing it out of just like sheer like you just chilling. But yeah, it's one of my favorite Rutger Hauer performances as well. Obviously, Blade, you've got Blade Runner,
yeah.
But yeah, this is my favorite performance from him.
Yeah, I read another theory going back to the motivations, and someone wrote like a thesis that actually the Hitcher is about the suppression of homosexuality.
Yeah, I've heard this as well.
Yeah,
it was Siskel and Ebert as well. I don't know if you've ever seen their review of it.
Yes.
They thought the film was a metaphor for homosexual sadism or something, which I just thought was so odd.
Now, it looks in that scene like The Hitcher is a high-speed action movie, and it is. Technically, it's very well made. That scene was well made. But what is this movie saying? That older man tortures that boy all through the movie. He plays tricks on him, he tries to kill him, he frames him for murder, he kills his girlfriend. He completely takes charge of that young boy's life. He is evil personified. And at the end of the movie, what happens? Something very sick happens. There is the unmistakable implication that that kid sort of liked that treatment and that he might become the next Hitcher. Later in the show, we have a movie named 9½ Weeks that's gotten a lot of publicity for its story of kinky sex. But if you look beneath the surface of The Hitcher, this movie is 10 times more perverted, more heartless, and more cruel. It's a deeply cynical movie that doesn't even have the courage to admit what it's really about, which is gay sadomasochism. And I don't know which I hated more in this movie, the cynicism or the dishonesty.
I mean, you could maybe, if you really look into it, I guess there could be some sort of undertones, but I don't really buy that either. Like,
yeah, I just thought that was just like a fun theory, but I'm with you. I'm not buying it. I mean, if you look into any film, you could creep in and say that everything's about some sort of homosexuality.
Yeah,
like
but I mean,
300.
like they're like collisions too random, I think, to kind of for that to happen. Do you know what I mean? Unless you say the John Ryder character's just into young teenage boys, and that's why he was waiting to get picked up by them. I don't know. That just seems very convoluted in my eyes, though.
Yeah, it's definitely a stretch, but a fun stretch that you don't pull a hammy at.
Yeah, I just feel like the film's a lot more simpler than that, and not in a bad way. But yeah, I watched the Siskel and Ebert review the other day, and I have seen it. I had seen it before, and they just like really fucking hated it. Like both of them give it like big thumbs down. It did get quite a lot of bad reviews at the time. It was one of those films that didn't really take off until like VHS and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, got a lot of bad reviews at the time, which I sort of read them and I don't really understand, to be honest.
It's baffling. It's like similar to like when The Thing came out, that got panned, and now it's regarded as one of the best films made, in the genre.
But I mean, I say this film now. I mean, if you see reviews of it now, it's usually very high, very highly scored. Yeah, weird. Like I heard some review from like back when it came out, like even accusing it of being too tame and not giving you the violence that it's building up to be, and I was just like,
wow.
I think you're just totally missing the point, to be honest. Yeah, I feel like it's a film that kind of doesn't need to have all the doesn't need to have all the kills and all the on-screen violence. As I say, then it would have just been a typical 80s Western slasher movie, like there's loads of those type of films. This is what sets it apart, I think.
I think probably the most powerful set piece in the film is with Nash tied to the truck.
Yeah,
because you don't see it; it's left to your imagination, and
and that's what really affected me when I watched. I did watch this film when I was quite young. Like I was probably too young. I probably shouldn't have really been watching it. But that scene really used to give me the chills because, like as I say, it's all the build up to it, and then you just don't see it. And I used to just imagine in my head, probably what happened to it. And I think it was just the good performances from like Jennifer Jason Leigh when she's absolutely bounded up, and you sort of see you see like the strain of the like the chains on her arm and stuff, and it's just like building up, and it's just so tense. And I think it was the best thing that they don't show it. It just left so much to your imagination, and I feel like that's what works to the film, and you just didn't need to see it. They showed it in the remake, and you see it all in its glory, and you just forget about it in 2 seconds later.
I think because when I first watched it, I had that little bit of hope that she was still alive.
Yeah.
And then as the film goes on, it's that, oh shit, she's dead, isn't she? She's not coming back. She fucking died like that. That's horrific.
Yeah. But you picture it in your head though, and what you picture is well worse than what they could like show with, prosthetic effects and just showing like all the blood and guts and stuff. I mean, at a stretch, maybe you could have like shown some blood splatter on the floor or something. I don't know. Maybe that might have, maybe a bit of a blood spray on the floor or something like that. But you just don't. It's not needed. Even when he wakes up in the prison cell and all the cops are dead and stuff. Like I thought it was way more chilling that you just see that he's done that, then open the door and then fucked back off again.
Yeah, I mean it all like it is an ambiguous film, and if you to add something in the film that wasn't so ambiguous, it almost derail.
Yeah. And as I say, it just turn into your bog standard horror movie. And it's a lot more than that. As I say, you just picture it in your brain, like him just massacring this bloody police force, and that makes him more chilling though. That you don't see, as I say, you don't see him just murdering everyone, probably getting out. It adds to his mystique as well.
100%.
So you just see the aftermath, and then he's just, as I say, he just opens the prison door. He's fucked off again to let him free, to carry on, just to carry on fucking with him, and it's just so menacing. It's so sinister. But I guess that's the scene that really raises the stakes, and that's because probably like halfway through, isn't it? Because that's when well, obviously this guy is a fucking absolute psychopath, and what he's capable of now is, is beyond anything. So, and again, that's probably what's added to the torture of him. Just letting him free to run off, and There's not
playing
really,
games.
there's not a lot of films like it. There's not really, I mean, there's not been a lot of films like it since, with that like such an intense like cat and mouse game.
Yeah,
There is some films that do have that, but yeah, just not to this, not to this, not this tense, and not this just like long as well. Like, it's pretty much just like the whole thing of the film, isn't it? And it starts like straight away. There's no, you just get right into it, don't you? It's like the
yeah,
first minute he picks him up.
yeah.
And
There's no lag. There's no real context, or well, not context, but exposition.
no,
You're just straight in the mix, and that does help with the film as well. It's not that
yeah,
like we don't need to know John Ryder's motivations, because, like you alluded to, it's more fun for the audience to come up with their own.
yeah, figure it out. It's like he says as well, when he tells him, you're a smart kid, you'll figure it out. And I guess that's him, baiting the audience to do the same thing as well.
Yeah.
Which just to say, it makes it so interesting. Another thing as well with the remake, that they just totally missed the point on, is the first thing that he says. He tells them that he wants them to kill him.
Oh, because I've not seen the remake with Sean Bean.
Don't bother. It's fucking garbage. Yeah, it's rubbish. Yeah, he actually tells, like it's a couple in the remake. And that's exactly what he says. He just says, "I want you to kill me." And it's just like, and that was only the first like couple of minutes, and it's like, you've just totally missed the point.
Yeah.
And it does, like you say, you see all the, you see a lot of the deaths and the on-screen violence, and you see you actually see that.
Yeah.
So it's the lad that actually gets pulled apart, and it's, you see it in all its glory, and you say you forget about it in 2 minutes. It's nothing. There's nothing special about it. Everyone's like really unlikable in it. Like the couple are just really unlikable. Sean Bean's not a bad, like, I don't think it was a bad casting choice. He just plays him way more unlikable. I mean, I'm not saying like you like the Rutger Hauer character, but you kind of, there's a charisma to him that you're I won't say you don't like him, but you're drawn to him though, aren't you? And you're just not with this. Like, he's just a full on dickhead, He just, and there's no ambiguity to that. So it's just it's a really shit watch. I think it was just out of curiosity, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I was working in the cinema at the time of the remake's release.
Yeah,
and I caught the end, and it carbon copy except for the gender swap.
Yeah, and it was just, as I say, it was the Michael Bay time when he was doing all the horror remakes,
like Texas Chainsaw.
And it was all just to say, it's all just set up for like Sophia Bush to just like, in a tight top, looking badass with a gun, saying cheesy lines. And it's a bit of a weird thing to complain about, but it's just
I mean,
but there was no stakes to it. There was nothing tense about it. It was just really predictable, and it just copied a lot of the stuff from the film, but just it was just really poorly done.
My takeaway from the what little I've seen of it is, it looks okay. The look of the film, the cinematography, it looks it's updated well.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not knocking the cinematography of the original. I love the cinematography of the original.
Yeah.
But it looked cool.
Yeah.
But I never once thought I need to see this film.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not the fucking worst film ever made, but it's very forgetful. Very. I mean, if you've maybe never seen the original, I don't know, you'd maybe get something out of it, but
yeah,
it was just your typical 2000s horror remake produced thing. It had that, with the weird saturation as well. I had that similar thing they all did with that, like that muddied kind of saturation, and it's just very predictable. But yeah, Sean Bean wasn't like a bad choice. Pretty convincing American accent, which I don't think I've ever seen him do before. But yeah.
I mean, Sophia Bush, whatever happened to her? Or did this film?
She did this film. Yeah. But yeah, as I say, I think it was just a gender swap. It was just like an excuse to just have her in a tight top, and just.
I mean, essentially, she was just Jessica Biel in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, wasn't she?
Exactly. Just like, get low camera angles of her. And again, I know it's a weird thing to complain about, but there's nothing. There's just no substance to it at all. And...
It's basically, look, we've got a hot young thing here. Let's show off that waist. Put them tits in a tight top and watch that money roll in.
Yeah, it's just, but like the both of them, like the couple, like from what I remember, they were just both like really like obnoxious and like unsufferable. So you just didn't really care if they got killed anyway.
Yeah.
And you didn't really like, you weren't drawn to the John Ryder character as well. I don't know if he's called John Ryder and if he was called something else, but yeah. But yeah, it's shit. It's, say not the worst film ever made. It's competently done, but just not like made and put together. But just totally missed the point of the original.
Yeah, like it's just your typical 2000s cheap cash in.
Yeah. Did you ever see the sequel?
No, I never.
Yeah,
is
that's pretty bad. That's pretty yeah. That's pretty cheesy. Got Jake Busey in it though. I quite like Jake Busey. He's hammering it up.
I like Jake Busey, but it's him in a film is not a sign of quality, is it?
No. It was definitely straight to video.
Yeah.
You get what you pay for. But like Thomas Howell like does come back in it as Jim Halsey for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could tell though he was just really phoning it in though. He's not in it for long, spoiler. Yeah. But yeah, that one's pretty bad.
So in the sequel, who's Ryder?
Jake Busey.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Oh.
He's not. I mean, he's not. He's not John Ryder, but it's just. So he's having a battle with another hitchhiker. Like, I mean, that's something that would probably not happen to a lot of people in a whole lifetime, and it's happened twice to this guy now, and it's not related. He's not. It's just a completely unrelated incident. So it's just like, okay.
Oh yeah.
There's only so far my my disbelief can go. Like, it's just like suspend. Yeah. So
I mean, it's certainly not a franchise story, is it? It's pretty much one done and you're out.
One contained story, and that's all you need. Yeah.
I mean, it's just gonna refer to me note. Like, did you are you aware of what inspired Eric Red, the writer, to get this film penned?
Oh, the song anyway.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. So wasn't he to say he was actually just driving down a long road and really bored, and then, as I say, I think he came up with the idea when he was listening to Riders of the Storm.
Yeah, by the Doors. Yeah.
Riders of the Storm. Sorry. Yeah. And I feel like that song does give you those sort of vibes to that. Like, it does give you the vibes to that film though. Like, I could listen to that song now and really picture that film.
Yes, 100. It's a very good companion piece, isn't it? It's
yeah. I don't know if the film the song would have, like, if it had been in the film. I don't think it is in the film, is it? No.
I can't remember it being in the film.
No. Like, I don't know if it would have maybe a bit too on the nose. Maybe if it had been.
Yeah.
Because some of the lyrics as well are very.
I mean, I may have made
on the road and all that, and
yeah, it pretty much lifted straight from the song. It's I think it would have made a great end sequence. Like the sun's setting and then the song bleeds in.
Yeah, like, I feel like the Doors should have maybe got like a writing credit on the film.
Yeah. Eric Red's got a lot to answer for the Jim Morrison estate.
Yeah, I would have maybe kept that to myself, to be honest, and maybe not told anyone. Like, oh shit, yeah, I've just got myself into trouble here, yeah. So, I'm just looking at Jim Red's, like, what else he's written. So did he write Near Dark as well? Have I got that?
Oh, Eric Red, yeah, he done. Oh, he done.
So he did do Near Dark as well, yeah.
Yeah, he done Near Dark, and he's done plenty of others. But
I know which one you're going to say.
oh yes, you do. He wrote Bad Moon.
Yeah.
Love that film.
I knew that one was coming. He wrote Cohen and Tate as well.
Yes,
You
he
watched
did.
that one a while ago.
Yeah, I reviewed it a few years back. Yeah, it's not his best work.
No, not his best work at all.
It's certainly no Bad Moon.
No, he wrote Blue Steel as well, which is quite an underrated Catherine Bigelow film with Jamie Lee Curtis.
I'm going to shock you now, Gib. I've never seen Blue Steel.
No, I think
No.
you'd quite like it. It's yeah, that's quite an underrated thriller.
Is
Quite
it?
cheesy, but yeah, I feel like you could definitely put like Near Dark and The Hitcher and watch that as like a double bill because it's very. I love that, like that, just the throwing these sort of stories into that Western setting just really adds to it, I think.
Well, it's definitely a theme he's got in his writing because Near Dark, Hitcher, and also Cohen and Tate, very very Western influenced, all road stories.
Yeah, as I say, it was I mean, I think it'd make a great double bill. Yeah, they're just kind of he's definitely cut from the same cloth, aren't they? And you'd think they were done by the same director as well, but like
I always assumed that, I don't know why, but I always assumed Eric Red directed The Hitcher.
Yeah.
But it was, what's his name?
Robert Harmon.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that was his debut, wasn't it?
Yeah, apparently so, yeah.
I mean, wow.
Yeah, a very like it comes across as a very confident film to me. Like, yeah, as I say, you know, a lesser director or someone maybe a bit more eager to please would have just done the sort of slasher thing, you know, just had him running around with a knife and you know and things like that. So,
well, he's on a. Did you ever get the special edition 2-disc DVD of The Hitcher?
yeah, that's the only copy I own of it, to be honest.
Did you ever see the China Lake short film?
No. Or maybe I have, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, you probably have because you do like your DVD extras like me.
Oh, I do, yeah. I love a good second disc.
Oh yes. But yeah, is short that he done a few years before The Hitcher is very Hitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much, you can see where, I don't know how he got the gig for The Hitcher, but I think his short China Lake was a big tick mark for whoever was doing the hiring for the film, because it's aesthetically, it is, you can see what he took from China Lake, he brought right onto The Hitcher. It's a really cool little film.
Oh, I'll definitely check that out. But yeah, check out Blue Steel as well if you ever get a chance.
Yeah, it's there. Let's see, Blue Steel. When did it come out? 1990.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was always one of the ones that was like it was always on like BBC Two or something. It was just one of those films that I always ended up catching, and it's very good. Catherine Bigelow as well, which I'm always a fan of. Yeah, I'm a fan of most of their films.
I mean, I was asking for the date, Gib, not because I want to know what date it came out. The subtext to that question was, yeah, is it fit Jamie Lee Curtis or related? because I'm a pervert.
No, it's it's prime Jamie Lee Curtis. So yeah. I'm trying to think what other films. So he did Bad Moon. Yeah, didn't really do much after the 90s though.
No, what a shame, because a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, but I guess some of his films, I guess, are films of the time as well. So I like someone who doesn't, if they know they're done, they're
Yeah, I'd rather
they're
them
not
be.
they're not just still clutching straws.
Yeah, I'd rather them go out on their own terms
Yeah.
than be a studio director.
Yeah, or just a writer for hire. It's always something I loved about John Hughes as well, that he just kind of like backed out when, again, like the sort of the early 90s, like comedy had kind of changed and got a little bit more cynical, and I feel like he eventually just couldn't get a lot of his projects off the ground, and he just fucking quit the business and became a farmer. I was like, I respect that.
That's
Didn't really, yeah, didn't just carry on churning out shit and ruin his legacy. Do you know what I mean? So it seems like the similar thing what Eric Red's done. So
a lot of respect for that. Hang on a minute. Oh my days. I've just clicked on the Hitcher 2 on IMDb, and I just thought it was called the Hitcher 2. But it's not. It's the Hitcher 2. I've been waiting.
Yep.
That is the worst title I've ever heard.
Yeah. You surely must have seen that like in Blockbuster. Like it used to be kind of in the DVD, like the DVD X rental piles and stuff. Like I always remember that cover. I think like you could tell like it was always like Blockbusters had fucking tons of copies of them that they were just trying to flog for a quid. So every time you were flicking through them, they was always in there.
My God, it came out in 2003.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I know. I did watch it. I think it was like I don't know, maybe a fucking drunken night when I was in uni or something. After I just decided to put it on. Just I don't know. I thought it was going to be shit, and it was. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it looks. Oh, she's got a shiver.
And another fact as well. I mean, I don't know if you know as well, but so apparently The Hitcher is one of Christopher Nolan's favorite films as well. So like you were saying, so you were saying that maybe like The Dark Knight's got a bit of stuff to thank for it. I think that's that. I think you could be onto something there, really.
Yeah, I didn't make that connection. Yeah. I mean that's pretty cool. That like one of the better filmmakers of recent times.
Yeah, and there's pretty. So I'm sure if you probably look into it, there's probably certain influences that you just kind of go over your head a little bit. But yeah, But I can't remember where I some review on YouTube. I was watching a review of it the other day, and they mentioned that. That's pretty cool.
That is really cool, and I love it when you love a film so much, where it's not mainstream like we mentioned before, but then a bigger from the mainstream goes, yeah, I like that film.
Yeah. It was not Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, it was not Quentin Tarantino, because Quentin Tarantino likes everything.
Yeah.
That's not that much of a compliment, because he fucking likes every film. So apart from Alfred Hitchcock's films, he doesn't like those.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was like,
fan. Yeah.
At one point, I was like, "How dare you, Quentin?" But I was just like, "That's Quentin Tarantino. He says say what the fuck he wants."
Yeah. He likes enough of loads of other shit that I like to, so I'll let him off.
Yeah.
But I think so. My favorite shot from The Hitcher though still got to be the like when he goes out the car and like the pan shot. Still one of my I think it's one of my favorite shots in like don't know 80s films, but just like films in general.
That was the shot that got me to watch the film, because I think it was on. I think I caught a bit of it on film 4 one night.
Yeah,
and it was that bit and that shot, and that sold me. I thought that was the coolest shot I'd ever seen.
Yeah, it's in the trailer as well, which and then like it sort of zooms in, and then it says The Hitcher, and it's like the title's like over it behind his head.
Yeah.
And that just like, I mean, if I'd have saw that back in the day, that would have been like, right, that's an instant watch.
Yeah.
So it's just such a cool shot, and the whole film though is like the cinematography in it is
beautiful.
I mean, it's as I say, it's gritty and kind of rough around the edges, but I mean, like the wide scope of it really shows you just how kind of isolated and how like out in the wilderness that he really is.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of big wide pan shots, and that I think that just really adds to it.
Yeah, it's beautiful yet grim scenery. Just desolate.
Yeah, yeah. But it just adds to the, to say, just to kind of show you how fucking far out of his elements that he is.
It's very much, it's also very much influenced by like Western films, isn't it? It's particularly like the look of Ryder with the long, what do you call, flak jacket or something like that.
Yeah, like he looks like, you could just put a cowboy hat on him and he wouldn't. You could have. Yeah, and and a gun, and he could just be, he could have been in a Western from, like 100 years ago.
And I think the surroundings help that as well, because with a lot of Westerns, it is desert, grim, like not a very nice place to be or to try and get through.
Yeah, yeah. But you think though, I mean, in that sort of situation, you'd probably be the best place to be, but he's obviously just so relentless and just keeps finding him, and yeah.
I mean, he must have the nose of a bloodhound to keep finding Jim Halsey.
Yeah, he just doing that, like sniffing in the air, right? Oh, there he is. He's that way.
Lynx Africa, this way.
Well, I mean, as well. I mean, I guess there's so many times that he just keeps letting him go as well. So it's just all kind of part of his twisted game, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a cat playing with a mouse, isn't it?
Yeah. Is there any other like sort of cat and mouse films kind of like that else that you like, or are kind of doing well? I can only think of one, but there's probably a couple of others. But
I mean, we'll go with your one first, because I'm struggling.
Yeah, so it's a film called I Saw the Devil. It's a Korean film, came out.
Oh, I've not seen it. I know what you mean. I know the film you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is it Park Chan-wook?
It's maybe no. Oh, no. Sorry, no, it's not. But it came out 2011. It's got the guy. So it's got the guy from Old Boy in it.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah, and it's just this really bizarre camera. So he's like just like despicable, like serial killer who just like just targets women and kills this young woman who's pregnant as well, which is like a really awful scene. And the like her husband's like this like he's like a quite high ranked FBI agent, and just basically tracks him down, but like then tracks him down and then kind of, as I say, kind of fucks with him and keeps sort of chasing him. Puts a tracker on him, but then makes him go on the run, and then chases after him, and then keeps beating the shit out of him because he's a bit of a like he's clearly quite handy with his with his punch and kicks. But then the only thing is as well though, like I get with him kind of trying to fuck with him, but then he keeps kind of letting him go, which then he goes off and starts killing other people, and I'm like, you could have stopped. But there's some like it's such a nasty film, but very very interesting watch. But yeah, there's a sort of very interesting cat and mouse thing to that.
Oh, it's got I think the main guy and a few others in I Saw the Devil were in joint security area. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I only watched that recently. Great film, but it's not a cat and mouse film.
Okay.
I don't know, with cat and mouse, I'm struggling to come up with a good one. I can tell you like the last one I saw, which isn't all that great.
Yeah, what was it?
It was Along Came a Spider.
Yeah, that's not a great film.
Morgan Freeman and Michael Wincott.
Yeah, that's not a great film, no.
No, what a shame. I only watched it because of Michael Wincott, because I love Michael Wincott. I think he's great.
Yeah. I think he's pretty good in that from what I remember, but yeah, it's not a great film. It's not really it's not something there's a lot of films of, but that was the only one that can pop in my head, is the I Saw the Devil one. There's probably a few more,
there's gotta be, surely. I mean,
but it's not done as you should say, it's just not done as sinister as it is in The Hitcher.
No, and I think films like The Hitcher, like a thriller. Nowadays, you just don't get them made anymore. You just
No.
there's no call for them, which is a
There's no
shame.
good. You don't get a lot of good old-fashioned thrillers anymore. Anyway, no, it's
No,
just it's either it's just either horror or it's
comic
something
book.
very tame. Yeah, so you don't
Yeah.
really get that mix anymore. You don't really even get like really kind of like hard, like R-rated thrillers anymore.
No,
I feel like that kind of went out with the 90s, to be honest.
yeah, it went the way of the Western, didn't it? Just died off, which is a shame because I love a good thriller.
Yeah, I do as well. Yeah.
But they seem a bit. I mean, I understand why they don't get made like recently because cinema's it's just comic book films.
Yeah, it's either 12A comic book films, as I say, or it's kind of quite hard horror now, and there's not
Yeah.
really much in between anymore, which is a shame.
Yeah, everything's big budget spectacle now, and there's not many films being greenlit with kind of moderate budgets because it'll never bring in a big audience unless it's got a big Oscar campaign behind it
Yeah,
or word of mouth. But that's
yeah. I couldn't see a film like The Hitcher getting made anymore,
no.
unfortunately. But
I mean, it's one of them. I agree with you that it is unfortunate, but I don't think anyone could make The Hitcher like a film of that quality
yeah,
and that what's the word we were using before? Ambiguity.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, I think people, people like a lot of things like very spoon-fed these days, I guess. So, but with still we can still watch it. It's getting a nice 4K release from Second Sight as well, apparently, which is quite good because I don't think it's getting like it hasn't had a release yet anywhere like in America or anything like that. So
I know I only know one. It got a release in Germany because I've had it on my Amazon favorites list for quite some years, and that's like a digibook one,
Oh, okay.
which I've been meaning to get, but
I'd probably wait for this.
yeah,
It's probably going to be one of those big box sets as well, which is going to be like 40 quid, but I'm probably gonna I'll probably fork out for that. You'll probably maybe get some, like a couple of other extra discs as well and stuff like that. So
I hope they transfer the extras disc from the DVD and give that proper treatment. Although they probably won't. It'll just be.
I hate that they don't do that anymore, though. Like
it really boils my piss. That
yeah, because especially when there's a lot of films that get like so many releases. Like the Evil Dead films, like there's been so many releases of those, and they've all got different extras and stuff, and then they just don't carry them over when they don't just bring like ultimate release with them all on, and that drives me mad.
And it's like Blade Runner. How many special / limited edition fucking different box sets and all that shit are we gonna get? Do you want to know how much money I've spent on Blade Runner? Ridiculous.
I just bought I've only got the double disc. I think it's the final cut, which they released like another 2 cuts after that. I think the one with the blue, they have like the blue on the cover.
I mean, I've spent a fair whack on Blade Runner editions, but nothing compared to what Matt Owen spent. My God, like half of his collection must be just fucking Blade Runner.
Yeah, all the seven different variations. I don't even know what the best one is, to be honest. Like, I don't either. I think I've only seen like the original and then one of the other cuts, and yeah, I couldn't tell you which one was. I don't know which one's meant to be better or which.
I mean, I've forgotten what the original cut is.
I think like if you watch like on streaming or something, like if you watch it on Now TV or whatever, I'm guessing it's probably the original cut.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Well, this is my thing with streaming, Gib. If you're going to stream a film, like we'll go with the example of Blade Runner, then have all the iterations on there as an option.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't just lumber us with one. Like say Aliens is on Disney Plus. Put the extended edition on as well.
Yeah.
Don't just tease us with the theatrical cut.
Yeah.
I
hate when they release movies now of like different editions, but then just don't ever put the original. Just put them all on so you can choose. People's tastes are different, aren't they? Like certain scenes. Like apparently I know there's a new the Rocky Falls coming out soon on 4K, but they're gonna have like both editions because he did a director's cut of it recently. I don't know if you know.
No.
So I'm like completely recut the film. Put loads of new scenes in, but he took loads of new like old scenes out as well. So when I watched it, like there's some good new stuff, but then I was like, I should have left that scene in though and stuff. So you should still have the choice though, and if you want to watch the original, you should, And I think it's interesting. It's always interesting to have, but yeah, you should always put the both of them on, unless it's like a licensing thing. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, I had a hankering a couple of weeks back to watch Alien 3, but only it's not the director's cut because Fincher had nothing to do with it. Like I forget what name they give it, but it's the extended edition, and it's just a theatrical cut on Disney Plus, and my Alien box set's in the loft. I'm not going through the loft, through 12 boxes just to find the extended cut of Alien 3. just put it on the streaming. Give us the option.
Yeah, that's the downfall of streaming, isn't it? Something that's ever gonna,
That's why I love physical media. It's just you've got everything there, like not only the film but the different editions. You've got all the extras. Because sometimes if you're really enjoying a film, you go, you know what, I want to watch the making of.
Yeah,
I want to watch the director's commentary.
Yeah.
I want to watch the TV spots. I love watching TV spots.
I love watching TV spots. I watch lots of TV spots on YouTube for films, and it's just okay. But it's why I don't throw any of my DVDs away anymore, because I say there's they do all these new releases with brand new artwork and and slap all this on, but then a lot of the extra stuff isn't ever carried on, and so and sometimes I'm like, I just prefer the DVD edition, to be honest.
I've got no qualms with throwing on a DVD. I think there's certain films that I just don't give a toss about image quality.
Being in 4K or being on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it can damage a film, particularly if it's an old film getting upgrades to 4K.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's not how we're meant to watch it. I mean, some films you're meant to watch on VHS.
Yeah, exactly. As I said, I am interested in looking at this 4K restoration. They've been doing it for fucking ages. I think it's been in the works like a couple of years now, so I'm hoping it'll be good. But it's I guess it's one of those films that probably could look quite good in 4K, but still I feel like it's very grind, still look quite good on VHS. It's just a film that looks good on VHS as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot for them to work with the 4K restoration on Hitcher, because it is like the cinematography is lush, as well as
I say, it's wide in scope, and a lot of desert landscape shots, and I'm very interested. I've sort of slowed down with all these every film just getting re-released with big box sets, and
I can't afford it.
No, I can't afford it, and I'm just a lot of the films. I was like, you've not really done that much extra with them, really. You've just put it in a nice box set, which will look great on your shelf. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But unless it's a film that I'm like really hankering for, which I will be for this, I probably will fork out the money for this, but it's probably going to be about 40 quid or something. But
I'd pay it, and I think there needs to be some sort of rule with these things. Like, you're not allowed to do more than 4 editions of one film within a 10-year span, because again, the amount of different editions for the Dark Knight trilogy, we don't need it.
Yeah. I don't really know what else extra. And so, I mean, and again, I just thought, remember the DVD releases of them were fine with the double, like the second discs were great. Like the extras on them were fantastic.
Yeah.
Probably hadn't even carried on. So,
I mean, I think I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I've not got the best TV setup because I don't care if I can see it, if I can hear it, I'm happy. But a lot of people are proper into the best quality, the best sound. So I get it on that side, but I'm as much as a big film fan as I am, I'm not an audio visual geek or a home entertainment geek.
A good film's a good film, or whatever I watch it on, to be honest, whether I'm watching it on a big telly or in the cinema or on my phone. I don't really watch a lot of films on my phone.
No.
I know that's a bit sacrilege, but yeah.
Don't tell Christopher Nolan. He'll go mad. Go mad.
Yeah. But no, I am interested in this 4K release, and how it'll get put together, because I know a lot of these 4K releases, these old films are getting panned at the moment. From all the big studios, they're just getting airbrushed and just look really awful. I feel like it sounds like there's been quite a bit of care put into this one, so I'm quite, I'll be quite happy with that one. And then if I'll say one more thing on my notes about the film. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but it's Mark Isham's score in it is.
Oh yeah,
so cool.
It's very. It doesn't. Like, I was listening to it the other night whilst like writing, and listening to it away from the film, it doesn't sound like the score to the Hitcher.
No, apparently he didn't even. I think he actually like put it together before he'd even seen the footage or something like that.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think that's why it seems like it. But then it does. It is very subtle and moody though, and it does. I think it does click quite well. But then you could listen to it separately and think it was a score for a completely different film.
Yeah, but kind of like I hate using the words, but it's the only one that comes to my head right now. It seems like a more elevated score for a thriller.
Yeah. No, definitely. And yeah, as I say, that's probably not maybe knowing what type of film it was. Maybe that's why, but I still really like it. It's I love anything that's like synth and 80 sounding anyway. It just but I like to listen to it on its own. It's a very good listen. I do listen to it quite a lot.
I was surprised it was on Spotify, to be honest.
Yeah, it had a big vinyl release maybe last year, like the record store day, like it was one of those exclusives for that. Yeah,
missed that.
But it's quite easy to get though. Like it is out and about. It's not like super rare. It might maybe cost you a pretty penny, but it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it's a good just as an individual listen. It's really good.
Yeah, it's a very nice, pleasant listen.
Yeah. It sounds a bit nice to what the film, like to the tone of the film. It's like you probably, I don't think you probably you haven't seen Cannibal Holocaust, have you? I can imagine.
No.
Yeah, I mean it's like such a disturbing like found footage film, but it's got like one of the nicest scores you'll ever hear in your life. Like it's got this this beautiful like orchestral like theme tune to it. And it's gorgeous to it's such a nice listen, and then you watch the film and it's like people getting the dicks cut off and brains pulled out and stuff. It's like
sounds like just another Friday night in Bootle.
Yeah. It's just walking home from on South Rose. Yeah, back in the day, that's just what it was like for me. Yeah, I used to just listen to that score and just walk head through.
Listen to the score. Take my dick.
But I think that's most what I've got anyway for the film.
Yeah, mate. We'll wrap it up there. It's I think we've covered as much as we can in one.
Yeah, I kind of weirdly want to watch it again. I only watched it last week, but I kind of want to watch it again. I'm hoping this new release comes out soon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new release. It's something that I will definitely be getting on the first day of release.
I'm not sure if there's a release date for it. So it's been in the works for quite a while, but that makes me think that they are putting quite a bit of care into it. So
what I'll do, Gib, because I follow Second Sight, and I think the head of Second Sight on Twitter, which automatically guarantees me to an audience with him, because that's how Twitter works. So I'm gonna at him. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna at him and say, "Listen here, whatever your name isn't, can we have a release date, please?"
Yeah. What do you wait? Yeah, I was gonna say it's just at his anniversary now, isn't it? So it's 37th. So
yeah.
Hopefully you're not waiting for the fucking 38th.
40th, yeah.
So, but
yeah.
Get him on Second Sight.
Exciting times, because with a re-release comes hopefully new viewers.
Yeah.
People gonna roll the dice on it, give it a chance, and have a grand old time watching it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And hopefully it'll be the best. As I say, it's never had like any sort of big Blu-ray release in America or a 4K release. So yeah, fuck them, we're getting it.
Yeah, I just hope they hope they do enough issues. None of this only 1,000 prints bollocks.
I do normally hate that, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna kind of I should maybe just put some money aside for when it does come out and just get it pre-ordered.
Yeah, I'll have to do the same. I don't want to get caught short and then have to go onto a money lender website.
Yeah, 200 quid for it, or just buy the standard edition.
I love that DVD. It's one of my favorite DVDs ever. That and the 7 DVD.
Yeah.
Terminator 2 in the steel box. Not the steel box.
I've still got the DVD, but I lost the steel box. I'm tempted to just buy it again on eBay.
I'm the opposite. I lost the DVD, but I've still got the steel box.
Oh, do you want to swap?
Right, Gib. Thank you for coming on again. It's been a grand old chat, a nice chin wag.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and anyone who's lasted this long into the podcast, Gib, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. It's just Gibson Graphics, and my website as well is just gibsongraphics.com.
Cool. I'll add all them links to the description.
You can see some of my doodles.
Oh yes, and what fine doodles they are.
Thank you.
And if you need any proof of Gib's good work, then here it is.
Oh, long time ago. That
Done
one.
my logo. Done my logo.
Did a logo, yeah. A long time ago.
Yes. Right, Gib. I bid you adieu, my friend. Until next time.
See you soon.
Adios.